Hello, everybody on our Facebook page. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? Can you believe it's Thursday already? This week has really flown by fast. I'm Sheila Caldwell. I'm the president and founder of the Heart to Heart Foundation. If you're not familiar with us, we are a grassroots organization based out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, which of course is in the Charlotte metro area. So we serve the Charlotte metro area, the entire state of South Carolina, and we have a lot of people who follow us from all over the country. So wherever you are watching our live program today, welcome. We're awfully glad to have you. As you know, it is National Women's Health Week. We started on Sunday because that kicked off Sunday. And we did a celebration on Sunday evening with a comedy show because we all know laughter is the best medicine. So a big thank you for Lauren Ansley from Beerly Funny for helping us do that on Sunday evening. And then we began doing programs every day at noon. At Monday, we had Carol Green from Taste of Healing. We decided to challenge Carol, she's a chef and a nutritional therapist, to come up with a really great heart-healthy recipe that's tasty and economical with some of the quarantine things that you may find in your shelf right now in your pantry. And if you missed that show, it is available on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. On Tuesday, we were joined by Betsy O'Brien, who is the executive director of NAMI Piedmont Tri-County. We were talking about mental health, and right now we could all use a lot more self-care and also help in recognizing when one of our loved ones might be in trouble and how to help them. And then yesterday, we actually talked to Michelle Wilson from Pure Escape Resort because self-care is really important even during this time of quarantine and staying at home. But we talked about how to really take care of your largest organ, which is your skin. So we talked about skincare. We talked about how massage is great for your heart health, helps you reduce stress and takes care of those aches and pains, but also it increases the blood flow to your heart. So massage, skincare, we talked about that yesterday. So today I am really excited. I'm excited for a couple of reasons. One, because this is a subject that I think we all need to really talk about and also to embrace. The other thing is that I'm about to celebrate my 8th anniversary of my heart attack. I had my heart attack in 2012. So after my heart attack at the age of 50, my cardiologist recommended that I go to cardiac rehabilitation, which I have to tell you was the best decision I could have ever made. And there I was introduced to a lot of incredible nurses and staff. And one of those just happens to be waiting in the wings right now. Her name is Amy Hanson, and we are going to bring Amy on. There's Amy.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi. I am awesome. And Amy is an exercise physiologist. I mean, she has a whole lot of other letters. ACSM, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Exercise physiologist. And ACSM, now what does ACSM stand for?
ACSM is the American College of Sports Medicine, and they are the gold standard governing body when it comes to fitness. So that's where we get our certifications through, which is for me to be able to work in a clinical setting as the clinical exercise physiologist.
And that's where we met, was in cardiac rehabilitation, because you have the job of taking people who have just gone through a near-death experience.
Potentially,
in many cases. And you may be working with people who, for whatever reason, have not either chosen to or physically been able to do a lot of exercise, and you've got to help them undo a lot of bad habits and adopt a lot of good habits and do it safely and do it for them. So that's an incredible job.
It's an awesome job, really. It's an opportunity that most people with you name the disease, there aren't, there are lots of diseases out there that you don't get that opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to reprogram. I'm going to learn how to eat healthier, and I'm going to learn how to exercise, and I'm going to learn how to manage my stress, and I'm going to quit smoking, or whatever your habits may be. You can actually, give yourself a new lease on life, a whole kind of clear the slate and do better. It's really awesome.
And we talk a lot about, with the Heart to Heart Foundation, we talk a lot about prevention on the front side. And the one thing that I always encourage people who've had a cardiac event, especially women, because our numbers as women, because this is National Women's Health Week, but when it comes to the number of women who go to cardiac rehabilitation to get themselves back on track, and the women who actually complete it, we're not doing too well in that area.
No, we're not. I think it's a statement of women in general put others first. I think, and women tend to put their family first, their children, their husbands, volunteer off, whatever they're working on at church, anything like that tends to take their priority. And so, or they could be caring for an elder family member too. So they tend to, like you said, they tend not to attend in the first place. And if they do attend, they tend not to finish. And it's just really unfortunate. So I always like to tell people that, if you're not taking care of yourself first, who are you taking care of? You really, and it's not selfish to put your own health first, because if you're taking care of you, you now have the ability to go out and do things you want to do and to be able to take care of others. So important.
And this is something I kind of teased when I was, promoting us being able to chat together today. And, and I'm sure, and I've had the same experience, that sometimes you never know the one thing that you say that really impacts somebody and stays with them. But about 8 years ago, when I was in cardiac rehabilitation with you, and you sat me down, and people often ask me, where did we come up with the name of our organization? And I said, well, the Heart to Heart Foundation, it really came out of, we wanted to have a heart-to-heart chat with women. And that's where it all kind of started, because there was a day that you sat this lady down, and at the age of 50, had a heart attack.
Sure, I did it kindly, Sheila.
No, you were very compassionate, but you made sure that I heard you that day. And so I remember you looking me and saying, if you don't remember anything else I say to you, you got to remember this. Do you remember what it was you said?
This is 8 years, Sheila.
I know. Well, I can help you out here.
Okay.
You told me then.
Women's survival.
Yes, you did. Because as I recall at the time, I had gone through 18 months of chronic fatigue.
Yep.
I had not been able to exercise for a really long time because the fatigue was
arthritis.
So bad. I had arthritis. I had fibromyalgia. I was in pain 24/7. I mean, I was a hot mess.
I know.
And I just had a heart attack at 50.
And you didn't feel good.
No, I did not feel good. And when you guys looked at me and said, okay, day one, we're going to put you on that treadmill and see how fast you can walk in 6 minutes, I almost bolted and ran out of the room crying. I'm like, I haven't been able to sweep my floor for 18 months. And here we go. But we did it. But I remember you talking to me that day, because I'm sure, like a lot of people, I was able to justify the reasons why I was not wanting to do all the things. And the I can't and the, oh, it is. Well, and it starts here.
Yeah.
Everything starts here. And but I remember you looking at me and you saying, if you don't remember anything else I say to you, remember this. That about 40, I think it might be 42%, but around 40% of women who suffer a heart attack at the age that you did don't live past 1 year. It's 8 years later, and I still...
You go, girl.
I still get chills when I tell women that, because you're talking about 40% of the women who have heart attacks at younger ages, they don't live past 1 year. And that really stuck with me. And I thought, well, doggone it, that's not going to be me. I'm going to make it 1 year.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember that. And so, that really motivated me because I did not want to be that person that didn't make it past that 1 year. And I know you probably have this conversation with other people, that you talk
Mm-hmm.
to. And but that's a sobering thought, and that really threw me into a time of, for me, I had missed so many warning signs because I kept, and you've heard me say this before, pretty much everything I thought I knew about heart disease was from a man's perspective.
Right.
I kept looking for what had happened to my dad, to the men in my family, my grandfather. Those things didn't happen to me that same way,
Yep.
so that's why I thought, well, this has to be something else because I didn't do
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. We as women present potentially a little differently. When
Mm-hmm.
we have women who actually come in and say that their symptoms were the chest pain, like, wow, lucky you that you had something that talked to you so vividly, because a lot of women have the vague, you can explain it away. That,
Mm-hmm.
fatigue. Oh, I'm getting older. Oh, I need to exercise more. Oh, I'm not eating well. Lots of reasons that you can explain it away. So we as women need to pay attention. We're a little different.
We are. We and the men folk are saying, Amen. They're a lot
Amen.
different. But that comment that you made to me that day threw me into research
Mm-hmm.
because I realized I needed to learn a lot more about specifically women's heart health. And what I learned after that, of course, really defined the rest of my life as far as what I was going to do to help spread this message. But I think, and I did notice, by the way, that you're wearing your Red Heart Mama
I
shirt.
am.
Ah, awesome, awesome, love it.
Thought it was appropriate.
Yes, very appropriate. So thank you for the plug.
There you go.
But
And heart murmurs.
what we talk about nutrition, which of course is the foundation of our existence and what we
Yep.
need to focus on. But you also made another comment to me one time. So you see, I listened to what you said. There was another thing you
I'm
said to me
impressed.
one day. I know, this is 8 years later. So there was another thing you said to me, and it was, you looked at me and you said, "Did you skip your medicine?" I'm like, no, man, I just had a heart attack. I'm taking all 8 of those flipping pills every day. Because by that time I was on 8 medications. Not today, thank God. But then I was on 8 different
Mm-hmm.
medications after my heart attack. And you asked me point blank, do you skip your medicines? And I
Mm-hmm.
said, no, ma'am, I don't. And
Yeah.
you said, then you have to retrain your brain and think of exercise as medicine,
Medicine.
just like a prescription.
That's right. Yeah, we say it all the time. Exercise is medicine. And of course, when we see folks, it's heart related. That's
Mm-hmm.
what folks come to see us for. But it's not just about the heart. The exercise is medicine from head to toe. Like, blood flow to the brain, our overall endurance, our ability to accomplish tasks. And more importantly, I think the most underrated benefit of exercise is the mental health aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
because moderate exercise, regular moderate exercise, is just as effective as a mild antidepressant. So it can really help change your perspective. With how you feel going out for a walk versus
Mm-hmm.
how you feel coming back from a walk. Even if you didn't want to go, I know it works for myself. I solve more problems when I'm out for a walk or a run, because it just comes to you. It's just, perspective. It just changes. Beautiful thing.
It does, and I remember because I've had the privilege of you teaching sessions for us before at some of the events and programs that we've done, and I remember one where you had talked about exercise, and we talked about the heart health, of course, but actually can help prevent about 40 other diseases, including several forms of cancer. Just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, getting off your butt. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not too much to
unbelievable.
ask. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
Just
I mean, our bodies
exercise.
our bodies were designed to move, and unfortunately, through the
Mm-hmm.
years, if you haven't noticed, we've gotten a little sedentary. Things have
Yeah.
gotten a little easier. Technology. We don't have to travel far, and of course, in these days of quarantine, so many people are working from home. They don't even have to leave the house. So it's really important to move your body. And when we move, we reduce risk of many diseases. including heart disease, of course, which is what we're talking about, but also diabetes. Type 2 diabetes
Yes.
is an enormous problem in our country. And just exercising and eating well and keeping your weight in check prevents 80% plus of both heart disease and diabetes. So we've got power. We've got a lot of power. And unfortunately, I think most people don't recognize that, or they give up too quickly. It's too much on your plate all at once, especially for folks who come to cardiac rehab who may have just learned they're diabetic, and all of a sudden you have all these changes to make, and it's just overwhelming. And so they just don't, because it's easier not to, because it's scary, because you just don't have the knowledge. So knowledge is power.
You have to make that decision every day. Prevention is a decision.
It's a choice every day.
When you think about people who quit smoking, or you think about people who have managed to stop drinking or doing drugs or other things, we really celebrate that because they've made a monumental change in their lives. But for people who have spent most of their lives not eating well and not taking care of their bodies, that's as much of a habit and addictive personality as the other things. It's just what you're doing. And
how you learned as a child.
Yes. Yeah,
so
and you do see that.
Relearning, deprogramming, reprogramming.
The best advice that I try to give young people, because I'll be asked to go and speak in schools, middle schools, high schools, and my biggest advice to them is take care of your body now, start exercising now, and don't ever stop. Because the second that you stop trying to redo that in your 40s and 50s, that's hard.
But it's never too late. It's never ever too late. Some of the best studies in exercise have been done on people living in nursing homes greater than 100 years of age that have shown tremendous gains in strength and the ability to do better. So it's never ever too late.
Never too early, never too late.
Exactly.
And we love hope. So that gives us hope. And I love the whole thing, because I remember the day that I was really doing a lot of research on women's heart health, and I was reading a lot of scary statistics that I'm going, oh my gosh, we have a serious problem, not just in this country, but the entire world when it comes to this issue. And I'm trying to wrap my brain around why we are losing hundreds of thousands. We're talking close to 400,000 women a year to a disease that we actually have the power to help prevent the risk factors that lead to it through just what we put into our body and what we do for our body. And that just, I think for some people, it just sounds too simple. So maybe they don't believe it because it's easier to swallow a pill or do something else than it is to actually practice self-care. So we can philosophize all day long about why people either don't accept that or don't do it. But what we want to do is really encourage people, especially right now. The weather is getting prettier. And they can get outside, even with social distancing. We can still get outside, and finding exercise that they can do, that they will do. So as an exercise physiologist, you're talking to the women today about, and it may be getting their family back on track, getting them back, and they got to start with themselves, but getting themselves back on track. So give us some advice about how we get ourselves going again.
Well, I think the most important thing you can do, of course, again, here we are in the time of quarantine, and our options are more limited. The gyms aren't open yet. I'm not sure, what folks' comfort level is going to be getting back into a gym. I'm not a fan personally of going to the gym, only because I work in a gym. So it's hard for me to go back to a gym to do a workout. So I would much prefer to be outside, and I just find it much more enjoyable to see my surroundings, and it just feels better. So the easiest thing you can do right now in these times is to go for a walk. Put on your sneakers and go. Take the whole family and find some sidewalk, find a park, and go for a walk. I'm fortunate where I live that I'm about 3/4 of a mile from a beautiful park where I can go, and it's safe and there's not a lot of traffic, and it's just a beautiful thing. So definitely just getting out for a walk is the easiest thing that you can do.
I remember meeting this little old lady once at one of the health events we did. I want to say it was over in Clover. And she was celebrating like her 95th birthday. And she did yoga
Love
every
it.
day.
Yeah.
And she would talk about, and some of the older women that I've met, and you talk about, you live near a park. I have a great neighborhood to walk in, and if I walk 15 minutes, I wind up at Lake Wiley. So I'm
Right.
very blessed that I can walk to the lake and have my moment of zen, do my meditation, and then walk back.
Yep.
But not everybody has that. There are
No.
some neighborhoods where it's not safe
No.
to get out and walk, and those are the neighborhoods that need exercise the most, because those are typically also the families with the highest incidence of obesity and
Right.
diabetes and high blood pressure and high cholesterol.
Exactly. So, how do you solve that? If, whether you have your own transportation or can, get some transportation in Rock Hill and the surrounding areas, there are so many beautiful parks where you can go and get in a good walk very safely. So I would definitely recommend people try to get out to an area where you can do that safely, because I do agree there's a lot of neighborhoods that don't have the sidewalks, or maybe they're not well lit if you're going out later in the day. So you really need to be in a safe environment for sure.
I remember one little lady. I think I was speaking for the YMCA group, and she would talk about how if it wasn't where she could go out and walk, she just walked around her apartment, and she would do her laps. And there was a guy, I think over in France,
around your yard if you've got a yard.
Yeah, when the quarantine first happened, there was a man in France who was training for a marathon.
I saw that.
The marathon got canceled.
Circles.
Yeah, he just got in his backyard and went in circles, and I'm going, good for you.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Yep. And I shared a couple apps with you. One of them is for years is the Nike running app. And what I love about that app is it is free. It is free. And you just have to set up an account with it. But there are guided runs or workouts that are part of that Nike running app where you can do a couch to 5K. You could do, there's a whole getting started series where you have, if you've got your earbuds, there's a coach in your ear talking to you and telling you when to start, when to stop, how you should be feeling, helping you pace yourself, and just having that encouragement in your ear, which even for me as an exercise physiologist, that I know what I should be doing. I love that little bug in my ear. I love that it kind of paces me to the next time that he shows up in my ear, or she that is the coach for that day. I just love that encouragement. So I'm a big fan of the Nike running app, and I love data in general. I have my Apple Watch, whether you have a Fitbit, there's a bazillion types of, running accessories or exercise accessories that you can be using, that you download their app. Fitbit, of course, if you have the Fitbit for your wrist, there's an app that goes along with that. There's workouts embedded in Fitbit as well. The Nike training app right now is free. It's typically a paid service for people, and to get to the real nitty gritty of some, I think it's free for just some workouts, but right now it is free for all of the premium workouts. So you can do things at home. YouTube, there's a decent amount of resources. I shouldn't even say, there's a million. I haven't vetted them all. One that you talked about yoga. My family, specifically my daughter and I, have been doing yoga with Adrienne on YouTube and have loved that. And she has all kinds of videos ready to go, and it's very pleasant. So we've been enjoying that as well. That's great for flexibility, and also for that meditative piece and the breathing that we need today to keep ourselves centered and relaxed, because there's a lot of stress out there.
There is, and I love to dance, so I have and I figured out, because when you go to weddings or parties or like galas, like the one that we have, there's always like 4 or 5 dance songs that we all do, right? The cha-cha slide,
right.
The electric slide, the different line dances, the wobble. My granddaughter taught me how to do the wobble. They think it's hilarious. But I have them like set up in a queue on my little YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel. And if you do those 4 or 5 in a row,
absolutely,
You got a 30-minute workout.
You don't know what you're doing. Do it, just dance.
And it's fun, and it's fun,
Yeah,
and it dances. So,
absolutely.
I usually tell people the best exercise is the exercise you'll actually do. But
Absolutely.
but especially as we get older, as women, making sure that we've gotten some cardio, we've got some stretching in, we've got some resistance training.
Strength
Because
training.
when I went through cardiac
Yeah.
rehab, I was really surprised when you guys says, okay, we're going to do some
Yeah, we're going to lose some weight.
weight bearing training, and I just had a heart attack, and you're like, yes, this is important for women
Yeah.
your age. But yeah, it does. It makes a really big difference.
I think that's one thing that women I found have been more resistant, no pun intended, resistant to through the years because they haven't been exposed to it, the strength training piece. And it doesn't take fancy equipment, just like cardio. You don't need anything fancy. You need some sneakers and just the ability to have some space to move. But strength training, it doesn't need fancy equipment. You can do it at home. You can use body weight exercises, whether it's squats or lunges or modified push-ups that you can use in the back of your couch or even a wall. Having some dumbbells, pretty easy to get your hands on it at Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods or any of the big box stores. So strength training is definitely, I think, the missing piece for a lot of women, because typically for all of us, not just women, there's a point in our lifetime where you either use it or lose it. And if you're not using it, you're going to lose that body mass, and the lean body mass that is so important in keeping our metabolism kicking. And even though, strength training does not give you the ability to go ahead and eat yourself a full pizza, it does give your body a boost, and because our muscles are busy. And so when you basically, with strength training, you are breaking the muscles down just a hair so that they rebuild themselves stronger for the next time you do it. And so with strength training, the goal is to be doing some form of strength training every other day, meaning if you did a whole body exercise routine, and when I say whole body, I'm talking about chest, so maybe like a push-up, back, you can do with some dumbbells, shoulders, arms, both sides, biceps and triceps, something for the core, something like, what is it called? I'm drawing a blank, Sheila.
Show me the motion. Maybe I can figure it out.
Well, not just doing, for the love, I'll come back to it. Something for the core, something for the legs like squats, but it doesn't take much. Planks, there we go, I remembered it.
There you go.
Doing planks, fantastic for the whole body. But it doesn't take a lot, doesn't take a lot of time. We're talking about maybe 10 to 15 minutes total, couple sets of each thing, 8 to 12 repetitions of each type of exercise. Although a plank, you don't do it in repetitions, it would be more in terms of how many seconds you hold it. But it does not take a lot of time to do strength training, but you just need to do it at least a couple times a week if you're going to do your whole body. Or if you split your body up in upper body, lower body, you can do a little something every day. It takes less time. But you have to have that stimulus where you lift or you work hard enough that you feel those muscles talking to you. They squawk a little bit. They start to feel tired that you almost feel like you're not going to be able to do more, but you never get to that point. You stop just shy of that point. But your muscles talk to you a little bit. And maybe tomorrow morning you wake up and you go, gosh, what did I do yesterday? Yes, that's what we want to feel. That little bit of soreness that just tells you that, okay, I did an effective strength training workout. And you may not always be sore, and that's the thing. With strength training, you can't just do the same thing over and over. You've got to change it up a little bit, whether it's adding a couple pounds or holding something longer, anything to change the intensity of that for that moment. But at least a couple times a day.
So this is great advice, which makes me wonder.
You need to progress.
You need to progress. And then sometimes people need a little help because they don't really know this. Do you do any kind of personal fitness training?
I have in the past, of course, with what I typically do, it's sort of like personal training.
You're busy.
But I'm not there, but I'm not going home with them to do it. It's on my radar right now to get that certification because I've got the credentials. I can go ahead. I can just pay some money and go ahead and get that with my background. So it's definitely something I'm looking at. I think right now there's a gap in the industry in trainers who have experience with people who have chronic disease. So I feel like that, that is definitely something very important, because when we have folks who say, oh, I'm going to go back to my gym and go to the trainer, it's like, okay, well, wait a minute, make sure that they've got the credentials they have, make sure they've got the ACSM certification, make sure, do they have a degree in exercise physiology or something equivalent? Because anybody can get some type of an exercise certification. But you just want to make sure that people have the knowledge that they need to help you, for sure. So it's on my radar.
Well, especially if you're in a special situation like that, you could actually, without having that background, somebody like me 8 years ago, it could have caused more problems than help solve.
Right.
So so if you ever decide to do that, let us know. We'd love to.
I will.
I will put it out there for you. But thank you so much for your time today. It's great catching up with you. Yes. So for everybody watching, in the chat boxes, I have linked to all of the. Amy has sent over some great PDFs, and
I'll add more.
And she can add more, and I'm going to link to those. So when we put this in the YouTube channel, all of the links to that educational material can be there. You can download it, you can print it, use it at home. The link to the Nike apps are also in the chat box. We'll make sure that's included on the YouTube channel too. So Amy, I'm going to come over here and full screen, because I have just a couple of little things I'm going to announce here. So tonight, I want to make sure that it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. We're going to be doing a special doctor chat. I'm really excited. We have Dr. Susan Demchak of Piedmont GYN OB, who is going to be with us tonight as part of our National Women's Health Week celebration. But Dr. Demchak is going to join us at 7 o'clock tonight. So ladies, please come back and join us. We're going to be talking about the M word. Ooh, okay. And then we're also, tomorrow is going to be our last Facebook Live show for National Women's Health Week. We're going to be joined by Sarah DaCosta over at Synergy Yoga and Wellness, because we have talked about exercise. We also want to talk about yoga, mindfulness, meditation, and Sarah is putting together some great things for us tomorrow. So one of the things that we have done during this week is every day we're going to give you a chance to enter a drawing to win one of two $50 Amazon gift cards. And we did Amazon because we have women watching us from all over, even in the replay. So if you are in the replay, you can enter as well. But I put the link in there, and all you have to do to enter is to fill out that form and put in the daily secret code. And in honor of our friend Amy today, our secret code word is fitness. So when you fill that out, just click on the link, put in the secret code fitness. You're going to automatically be put into the drawing. And then on Sunday at noon, to give everybody plenty of time to enter, we will draw 2 names out of the hat. So if you enter every day, that's great. Increases your chances of winning. And then on Sunday, we will draw 2 $50 Amazon gift cards. Maybe you need a new pair of yoga pants, or you want to get a pair of lightweight dumbbells to get started on your strength training. So you can use it for that. But we just wanted to say thank you for joining us again today. Don't forget to join us tonight at 7 p.m. with Dr. Susan Demchak for a special edition of our Doctor Chat program. And then tomorrow at noon as we wrap up with Synergy Yoga and Wellness. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Stay heart healthy. God bless.